first I want you guys to watch this little video because I want you to see just how seriously automation is when people think it's just a hapstance.
During World War II, America used to put a pigeon inside its missile. This was not a normal pigeon, but it was given a unique training. Actually, there was a screen in front of this pigeon, and whenever a ship was seen on this screen, the pigeon would touch it with its beak. After that, it was given grains to eat, and in the greed for food, all the pigeons did this again and again. There was a wire attached to the beak of the pigeon, and whenever this wire touched the screen, the missile would change its direction. So, whenever an enemy ship was seen on the screen, the pigeon would touch it in the greed for food, and the missile would change its direction and go towards the enemy ship and blast.
How many of you have seen that video? Right?
Yeah, I knew about that before.
Right? It's kind of funny, right? That you're looking at very early stage automation, or at the time, how do you get a missile to hit a ship when there's no one there? I mean, the technology we have today, we take them for granted, you know?
Yeah, we are having a kamikaze.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Humans were literally torpedoing themselves. So we've come a long way from that. But the reason why I like to share that video is because look at the context, right? Automation, except the pigeon again and again was trying to get the seed, and a lot of pigeons died in the making of those reels. So how many of you here are doing commercial in your business, by a show of hands? The reason why I'm asking that is because, well, and as you guys see the logistics, this is our first time doing this here. They have a fixed projector. We're going to eventually figure out how to get the laptop to run some of this stuff. How many of you have ever heard of Apollo.io? You've used it? Share your insights. What is it? What do you use it for?
You can strictly, and you can get the contact information that we'll call them or send them an email.
Okay, wonderful. So guys, if you see what's behind in the image, this is actually Apollo. If you see the background of it, you can actually run a, that background doesn't match the one that I had for it, but when you go into Apollo, who's the person you're trying to reach on the commercial side? Property managers?
I do mostly residential.
Mostly residential? Okay. Like for you, you want to reach property managers, is that right? Okay. So in Apollo, when you go in, you type property manager, you then say Florida, and it'll narrow down the band. I just did this for a gentleman in Maine, and it's in New Jersey and Maine, and it narrowed it down to 671. And of course, he was hoping it'd be thousands. Said, no, this is a lot if you put frequency to it, you know? So once we had the 671, and I know, Alexia, you can see where this is going, right? We put them in a list. We then added them to a sequence. And then we wrote a very nice template with a video, which nowadays with AI, you can change the words and make it match, the person's name, and they're getting a personalized video. And that is a cold email going out. What I say about email conversion, right? 0.005. That's not going to get what gets the ball rolling. It's when you start then doing the print and the voicemail drops, and you start calling them, and you start doing the roll-up, just show up at their door. I've done it. What I like about Apollo, and in case you guys didn't know, is that if I need Richard's mobile number, I'll go in there, and very likely about 80–85% of the time, it will give me his mobile number. And if I really want to meet Richard, I will roll up on his office, park in front of it, try to get in the gate. If I can, I'm calling him. And that's how I will meet Richard. Say, hey, Richard, I'm out here in front of your building. Just so you know, your folks are not letting me in. I've got some information you might need. And I really do have information for him. So, but what I found interesting when I went to Apollo, look what it says. This is their little tagline on their website. You share the revenue goal. What did I cover originally about the factor, right? What did I say the factor is, right? Literally, their little phrase line is, you share the revenue goal. They're literally saying, tell me your factor and I will give you your result, But, and I've talked to Dimitri about this. He says, sometimes we gotta not make things complicated because we're also busy nowadays. We want to keep it simple. I'm like, yeah, I'm trying to keep it simple, but if I use words that don't have the context anymore, then we're not even going to understand each other. And this is proof of that. You share the revenue goal. What does that even mean? What it really says is, you tell me the factor that you want, and I will give you the result that you're looking for. So for any of you that are not doing commercial, and Danny knows this, right? We had a conversation about that. What market are you in? Who are you trying to reach? Or in the case of Victoria, right? Who is your intended target? put that in there, add it to a sequence, start the email automations, it does the voicemail drops, it queues the phone calls, and look, that's not me who you're paying for any of that. I'm just saying Apollo, $100 a month for the level of access that for me gives me API access. For the average person, it's 50. There's a free version, so you don't even have to pay for it if you just need to get some, some prospects for yourself, like the gentleman was saying, right? So, Reonomy, who has used Reonomy? Nobody here uses Reonomy? Wow. Okay, you sort of have to get on Reonomy. What you do? Yeah. Because Reonomy has everything I just said about Apollo, but now it's literally the building data along with the contact data. So I actually connect the two, and now when I call this building, I know who actually owns it, not the property manager, I'm talking to the property manager, and I'm literally sending communications to the actual ownership entity, and getting their mobile numbers. And sometimes they freak out. They're like, how'd you get my number? I'm like, well, it's out there. So again, look, see again, that's why I wrote this at the bottom. They're literally telling you, tell me the factor and you'll get that. Next slide, Monica, please. So look at this slide right here. Go to Apollo, you do a search, you save, you name the list and you name it, you save it, and look, everything's matching up with what I've been telling you. 4,800 roofing contractor person emails. What do we say is the conversion factor? 0.005. So I'm expecting no more than 24 people to become relationships. And guess what? That's exactly what's happening. I've got 24 people that have reached out on my radar that they say they want to engage. It's simple math, guys. So what I love about it, though, is that it can be influenced. Create the sequence, right? That sends here's what I love about Apollo, and also what I call the limitation. If you guys haven't received one of these already, you will, because you can see how many are, see right there, 2,990, right? The response rate, I'm actually slowing it down because if I go full throttle, I'm gonna have too many people to talk to, and that can be a problem. Notice, look what I did. I set up A, B, and then as soon as I saw this one was doing better than the other, I turned off the other one, right? Trying to stay below the spam and all that stuff that they do. The second event in the sequence, it sends a connection request to LinkedIn, and it has a message and it has a video that I attached to it. And ask me what I'm using, Alexia, when we're done with this. I'm giving everything away, okay? You guys can take it all, okay? Apollo is integrated with Vidyard. Have you ever heard of that? You've heard of Loom, right? Yeah, and you've heard of Vimeo. See, this is what I can't stand. There's products out there that do such a good job at marketing, but they're not doing shit for the actual user, right? That's what pisses me off. That's what this stuff gets personal. Apollo says, the email can have a video from Vidyard. So there I go chasing Vidyard, and I'm expecting, some upsell, whatever. No, they said you can load up to 20 videos for free. And I'm like, oh, but it is amazing because you can upload the number of videos if you have the Apollo account and not even have to pay for it, So I'm like, why? Who's gonna tell people this stuff, So, and they're $100 a month. So as long as you don't go past the 10 videos of you talking in a message, how many messages are you gonna say, right? To how many people? If you're doing more than that, pay them, But what I love about it, check it out. This email, and by the way, we're gonna add you guys to the sequence and send it after this, so you guys will see it in the next 24, 48, maybe a couple days, so you can see what those look like. But look at what it says, cost-cutting news, ratings, roofing insights. There's a video of Dimitri talking, and all the stats are being collected and everything. If you click on it, and obviously it's on, from where you're visiting, we're collecting all that data. But most importantly is that what happens here with this event, it sends a different video, and again, all of it through video that I have it connected. It asks for a LinkedIn connection request, and it's just amazing, How many of you guys here, well, we're gonna get to that part, but how many of you here, I don't want to get into personal stuff, but how many of you wished you had more money available from your banks to make your business scale faster, right? It almost seems like common sense. Well, this sequencing of stuff can also trigger that. I've got literally private capital. If you guys haven't heard the word credit facility, you're gonna have that information by the time you leave today. Lining up saying, how much do you need? How much do you need? How much do you need? because there's people out there that want to engage, they just don't have, they're not using the factory to reach out. So look at the third part, semi-automatic phone calls. Did you guys know that Apollo has an auto dialer? That if you, watch the sequence, you send an automatic email, right, to a property manager you're trying to meet, then you send the connect request to LinkedIn, and they decide to connect, and again, you send them a couple videos, you see the engagement, and they haven't called you, but then the third sequence is the phone call. If you push the button, it'll dial from a number that's attached, so it's not even your direct line, but it'll connect your phone will ring. You grab your phone, and their phone rings. And if they don't answer, it leaves a voicemail drop right into their, and if you guys want to know how I do it, use Audacity, record yourself, lower the pitch, you know, because you don't want to sound too enthusiastic. Lower the pitch, clean it up, and then upload it. I've seen too many people try to do that with the actual recording, and I can tell in their voice the stuttering or the delays and stuff. You don't want to do any of that. So what are we doing again? Influencing the factory, guys. Control your own destiny. You know, seriously. Let's go to the next one. So it's all cool, but what I don't like about it, it's semi-auto. You gotta do it. You gotta go in there and do that stuff. I like full automation. You know, let's just make that thing, the way to go.